welcome to another Zenphi tutorial. Today, as you can tell by the title of the video, we're going to be going over how you can create a flow to automate the process of creating, approving, and signing illegal contracts with the help of AI technology. So let's go ahead and get started. The first step to any Zenphi flow is to configure your trigger, which in Zenphi is the action that initiates our flow. In this case, we're using the Google Forms response trigger, meaning it's going to start the flow whenever a Google Form response is submitted. So all we have to do is first set up our connection. What this is going to do is grant Zenphi permission to be able to access the responses. So all we have to do is give the connection a name. This can be private, it can also be shared, and after we click on authorize, we're going to be able to click here on this Google Drive icon to select any Google form from our drive. And then we're going to be able to see all the different form controls load down at the bottom with their display name and their type. Now the first action that I'll be using is called current date and time. What this is going to do is help me be able to add the current date to the document that I'll be using for my contract. So all you have to do is indicate the language and then a time zone, and you can select a format. You can add the date, the time, you can add both. You can even add a custom format. The next action I'll be using is going to help me create the actual contract. So this action is called generate document using template. So as the name implies, we have to generate a template to be able to fill in the information in the different placeholders. So all we have to do is, again, create a new connection to be able to grant Zenphi permission to access our docs. And then we have to select which file we're going to be using as our template. So if we click here on the Google Drive icon, we can select it from here. Here we have to select where we want to save the new Google Doc. So again, clicking on the Google Drive icon, you can select a folder from your drive, and we're able to give this file a new name. In this case, I have named it draft, organization name, which is one of the questions on the form, and then contract. To be able to add information like this, for example, all you have to do is click on this chain. This is called a token picker. It allows us to enter data from previous steps. So we click here, we're able to access all of the previous information. If you want to add, for example, their email, their name, if you want to add the date, you can also do so. Now for the next step, it's very important that we turn on this option, generate PDF. And then down at the bottom, you're going to be able to see all of the different placeholders in your document. This is the document that I used for the example. If you want to indicate a placeholder, you have to make sure you write it in between two curly brackets. So here I can replace the name, the address, the email, the phone, etc. And if you indicate it like that, you'll be able to see them all here. And all you have to do is indicate which value belongs to which placeholder. You can either write manually, or you can use the token picker to be able to assign which value belongs to which one. And then what we're going to do is read the document so that AI is able to see the text. And this action is called OCR document processor. This action only supports PNG files, JPEG files, TIFF files, and PDF format. So it's very important that we enable the PDF generation. So what we're going to do is indicate which content we want to process. In this case, it would be the PDF file. And then after that, we're going to be able to give that text content to Generative AI to be able to read. So this action is called Generative AI. All we have to do is add a prompt. This prompt can be a simple sentence. You can give it a paragraph. Try to be as specific and detailed as possible to make sure that it knows exactly what you're looking for. So all we have to do is add the input here. So we would add the text content from the previous action. The value for temperature and maximum length do come by default. I would suggest trying with these, and if needed, you can adjust. The next action is called share item. This is going to be able to be used to be able to actually share the Google Doc with the person that will be reviewing it. So again, we're going to set up our connection. We're going to indicate which file we want to share. Using the token picker, you can go to the generate document using template file, and you can get the file ID from here. You're able to choose what role you want to assign. In this case, I want them to be able to edit the document. And then here you can indicate which email address you want to share the item with. In this case, I have created a variable called sales team, and I have added a default value, which is the email of the person that I want to be able to approve the document. And now that they actually have access to the document, I'm going to be able to send them a task to review. This is called assign task. You can add a task name, task description. You're able to add different outcomes. In this case, I'm going to give them the option to approve or reject the contract. Down at the bottom, you're able to add a sender display name. Again, I'm going to use the variable for the assignee email. You can add a subject and an email body. And here I have basically indicated that AI made these suggestions in case they want to make those changes, and then afterward they can either approve or reject the contract. So that's basically what the body says. At the bottom, you're able to add an expiry date as well as reminders. And here I have also added a view link to the Google Doc. That way they're able to open it, make any changes if needed, and then add their response outcome. They do have the option to be able to approve or reject, so depending on what they choose, we're going to go to a certain branch. This is called an if condition, so it's going to be able to check if the document has been accepted or not. So if we go to the clause, it's going to follow the true branch when the response outcome is equal to approved. So if they haven't approved, what they're going to receive is a rejection email. This is called send email Gmail action. All you have to do is set up a connection to your Gmail account. You're going to indicate who's going to be getting the email. In this case, one of the questions is the contact person's email. And then you can add a sender display name, a subject. Here I'm just indicating that the contract request has been rejected and that they can reach out if they have any questions. However, if it is accepted, what I'm going to do is export the final document. Since I do have the option to make changes to the Google Doc, I'm going to wait until after they accept and they've made those changes to be able to export the final document. This action is called export docs. Again, we're going to set up our connection, indicate the file ID, in this case the Google Doc that we created initially, but since they made the changes to the same document, we can use the same ID. We're going to select a folder where we want to save this new document, and then we can give it a name. In this case, I've named it Final Copy, and I've added the company name once again. And here in export type, we're going to make sure we select PDF. And the last action we have is going to be used to help us send the document for signing. So this is eSign DocuSign envelope. So we're going to select the exported PDF to make sure we have all the changes. Here you can add an email subject as well as an email message. And then down at the bottom, you're able to enable signing order if you're going to be sending it to multiple people. And then here you can choose if they need to sign, if they need to view, if they need to receive a copy. You have to add their full name and their email. Since these are questions from my form, what I'm going to do is select it from the trigger using the token picker. All I have to do is select it from here. And here you're able to indicate a placeholder for the signature so that DocuSign knows exactly where the person needs to sign. So here I have this placeholder. Now a quick tip for signature placeholders is to make sure you write it in white font. This way Zenphi is able to detect where the placeholder is. However, it's not going to interfere with the signature since this is going to be placed on top of the placeholder. Now that we have everything, we can go ahead and save and test run. So we're going to select a form response to start. I'm going to choose this form submission and I'm going to click start. So as we can see here, it has sent the task for approval. And as you can see, if we open up our email, here we're able to see the suggestions that were made by AI. For example, here they're suggesting to add a comma. Here for it to sound more professional and a bit more clear, they're suggesting to change one of the sentences. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Google Doc. And I'm going to make the change that they suggested. So I'm going to go ahead and change the comma. I'm going to place it after the city. And I'm going to go ahead and click on approved. And as you can see now, it's exporting the document and sending for signing. And this is what the email would look like. So here it just says that I have a document to sign. So I'm going to click on review document. And now since we added a signature placeholder, if we scroll down, we're going to be able to sign exactly where we indicated. And then we can click on finished. And just like that, in a few easy steps, we have automated the process of creating, approving, and signing your legal documents. You're going to be able to save so much time, and AI is also going to be able to help make sure your documents are as professional as possible. You're going to reduce the time being spent spell checking, looking for grammar mistakes, and you're going to be able to reduce human errors as well. As you can see, it can be very simple. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel. Here we post tons of tutorials using different actions, different triggers for different sectors to be able to look at how Zenphi can help automate all the processes in your life and help you save time and money. You can also find a link in the description to be able to sign up for a free demo meeting with our specialized team. There we can go over ways that Zenphi can help your business. Make sure you're saving as much time as possible. So make sure to check that out if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching.